As we've been telling you about all this week, there have been a number of violent TTC incidents. Here at Sunnybrook Hospital, there's a program called Stop the Bleed that can make sure you know how to save a life.
A person can bleed out in approximately 5 minutes. So having somebody available to intervene in those critical moments before paramedics are able to arrive to the scene can be the difference between life and death.
Brandy Tenenbaum at Sunnybrook is one of many here stressing the importance of knowing first aid.
We have heard definitely stories of people involved in shooting incidents, stabbing incidents, who have been able to intervene and help.
And every second counts, right?
Absolutely.
Stop the Bleed was created by the American College of Surgeons after the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting. It's to teach anyone how to stop life-threatening bleeding after an injury.
It's a really good opportunity for students.
Greenwood College teacher Matthew West brings classes every year.
You obviously see it in TV shows and movies, but just you get a new respect for an institution like this.
While we've heard about stabbings and other violence on the TTC, the lessons learned here can be applied in various scenarios that happen at any time. We sat in with these grade 11 students to learn how to help if needed. So before you jump in, make sure there isn't an active threat.
You don't want to have more victims than are already involved in the incident.
They added in Ontario, you're protected from reprisal if you do assist.
The Good Samaritan law protects people who are intervening in those situations.
After someone is injured, alert 911 immediately. Try to get an exact location, be prepared for questions and instructions.
Assessing the whole person for any other injuries is going to be a critical first step.
Find bleeding sources even if you need to remove clothing. Identify life-threatening bleeding. So if it's non-stop, if there's a large amount, or if it's pooling, all indicators of that.
You are going to assess what tools you might have available to you. Depending on the type of wound, you're going to make an assessment about the type of intervention that you're going to apply.
For torso wounds, Tenenbaum said if there's internal bleeding,
the only place where they can be effectively treated is in the hospital and a trauma center. They need the attention of a surgeon.
Put clean cloth or gauze over the wound and apply direct, continuous pressure until first responders arrive. Make sure emergency crews know about these victims first. If there's a head injury, they said cover the wound and apply direct pressure. For arm, leg, neck, shoulder, and groin injuries, focus on the point of bleeding and wipe away pooled blood. If the wound is large, stuff gauze, cloth, or a shirt until it feels full. Hand over hand, push down as hard as possible and keep the pressure until help arrives. Instructors recommended keeping a certified tourniquet in a first aid kit. If one is available and it's an arm or leg injury, put it 2 or 3 inches above the bleeding area and not on a joint. Make it tight as possible until bleeding completely stops. Note the time it was applied. You'll also need to talk the victim through the process.
It's going to be an uncomfortable experience, absolutely.
Lastly, they encourage taking a course to practice and learn.
The point of the program is to teach people how to save a life.
To learn more about the Stop the Bleed program, head to citynews.ca. In Toronto, Nick Westoll, City News.